Hey, hey, it's 28 millimeter RPG. Rick. Rick is here. And today we're going to talk about some interesting stuff. I ended up getting a couple of books in. Actually, I got these quite a few weeks ago. So, Traveler's Field Catalog, as well as the Traveler Robot Handbook. So, the two compare side to side here. You see that the robot's handbook is a little bit larger than the field catalog. Um, Both are useful books. Um, the uh, the imagery through it is interesting. Um, I kind of miss the old Mongoose Traveller first edition books where they had a lot of cool ideas. They kind of bring up all kinds of interesting situations that you can pop into your games. And this, I mean, it's good, but it's not like that where it gives you like a ton of ideas that you can, throw into your games like the first edition used to. Which is why I keep a lot of my uh, PDF, like printed PDF copies of the first edition, because yeah, it had some great ideas in there, and I still refer to them quite often. So, um, as far as this goes, let's get into looking at the book here and stuff. Let's do the big one. Yeah, yeah, let's do that. So you can kind of see. I don't know which one. Maybe this one. Let's go this way. All righty. So looking at the traveler catalog here, yeah, it's um, this isn't exactly a Shawner approved kind of artwork in here. The artwork's okay-ish, it's it has some yeah, interesting looking characters and stuff in here. But the main focus in this book is going to be basically building weapons and some ideas for other, parts of what what you would consider in a mercenary company, like their vehicles and their transports and stuff like that. Uh, that would be the mainstay of this. But the main thing in this is going to be constructing weapons. So if you're into that kind of thing, putting, different things together in order to make your weapon improved, or actually manufacturing your own weapons and stuff like that. I mean, it's cool. There is some really interesting designs in here, and we'll just kind of go through the pages here. I mean, you guys can pause at any time and take a look. But I mean, some of this artwork's kind of meh. Uh, Feels kind of, like I say, it's okay-ish. I prefer the weapon pictures and stuff. It gives you a template and everything that you can work off of in order to create your own weapons. It gives you some examples of different things that your weapon would consist of, like, it's ammo, what kind of caliber, all that kind of stuff. You want it to be low recoil, high recoil, whatever. It gives you all kinds of different ideas here. Um, it, it gives you the conventional rundown here, of course, and the rest of this is just going to be, ideas, throwing pieces and parts together and giving you something cool, I guess, at the end. D6 is kind of, your range of damage is going to be basically all d6s. It's not like D&D where you have like multiple dice and stuff like that. It's all d6 based on here. So um the main thing is going to be the effect in the role play that each of these would have, you know, the explosion, the burst, all that kind of stuff, the effects of the different kinds of gases or nerve toxins and or whatever you have, in your game at the current time, whatever technology level. It does get into some interesting things about each of the technology levels and some of the more archaic weapons and stuff, which is cool. Um, so a lot of these, like these weapons here, the pictures are cool. They have some interesting, designs here. Some of them are, like this saber. I'm not too sure. There's a lot of pieces to knock off of this thing. So, but nonetheless, it gives you. I mean, if you want pictures and stuff of what players might be seeing or something, I mean, sure. Um, Boarding shields, yeah. I mean, I guess that's a thing, you know. When you're boarding a ship, it's good to have something to give you some sort of mobile cover. Shotguns and stuff like that, and you can build your own Zorg weapon in here. And if you don't know what that means, like Fifth Element, the uh, the arms trader guy in there, Zorg. He brings out this weapon that has like multiple barrels on it. It does like all kinds of things, including it has a self-destruct device in it as well. But it includes that kind of stuff, so you can make your Zorg weapon of choice, and it does detail a few Zorg-like weapons in here. So you won't feel like you're missing out. There's some pretty cool looking designs, and it gives you, all the rundown of all the cool things that this weapon includes. Like for instance, this one, it's not going to be a very fast weapon to implement, so it's got that -4 quick draw if you use those kinds of rules, but it gives you that, oh, this weapon's going to be sluggish to go ahead and pull out and utilize right away. So for me, that kind of thing, kind of sticks in my mind in some of these weapons. um Flame projector, cool. um you know uh, you know cryojet, cool. Like I say, there's all kinds of different ideas that maybe you never even thought about, and and who knows? It spurs some cool ideas for you. There we go. We're starting to get into the Zorg style weapons here. So, and I don't know. I just let the pictures kind of um take their place of my mumbling words here. Uh, some of them are cool. It gives you some good, extra ideas for grenades and that sort of thing. More of the outfits. So yeah, we see a lot of these, the environmental suits, and it gives you a rundown of all the particulars of these suits, a little bit more detailed, which is cool. Just reading through this gives you some ideas of what to have on your military units, and how to outfit them, in your game in order to make them kind of more realistic. Like, this is typical kind of traveler. You're not getting a lot of, like, I wish there was a lot more like super advanced kind of, what would be more like numeric kind of stuff where it's so advanced, so way out there that your brain can't even comprehend what. what it is. But I guess you got to go ahead and put that in yourself. Um, I try to be a little bit more imaginative than the usual traveler game master out there, thinking about all this weird stuff. I just do. That's the way I think. Um, Oh, cool. Start detailing some of the automatic equipment stuff. So cool. I kind of glaze through these books and I forget about a few of these things until I see it again. And yeah, it's pretty neat to kind of refresh my brain on this kind of stuff. But all in all, it's got like all kinds of different things that you would probably encounter on a battlefield in any kind of futuristic situation. A lot of turret weapons here, and it also gets into as we start getting down to the nitty gritty here. I'm just going to go fairly quickly here into more of the vehicles, and it gets into the ships as well. So you have a few ships in here that you could also incorporate with your game. I kind of use the gist of each of these kinds of things, like the grav tanks and stuff, and I will go ahead and use my own pictures and stuff like that. I'll make pictures from AI, representations and stuff. Here we get into the starships and I mean it's cool. It gives you some more layouts and stuff that you can um have in your game if you're in so inclined to do that. Some of these designs interesting, kind of like this is kind of like a Shalako kind of you know ship, I guess. What's tonnage? That's only 400 tons, so it's not very big. It's big enough to carry a bunch of men on board, or Amazonian warrior women, and bring them to your planet of choosing, and land them on the planet. So yeah, transport's cool. How big is that transport? 1,000 tons. Okay, it's getting a little bit more bigger. And yeah, it gives you the advanced design worksheet. I know that if you purchase the PDF and everything from Mongoose, they also give you a couple of worksheets that auto add up and stuff like that. So, which is cool, um, especially when it comes to the robots. And we'll get into that right now. So, let me go ahead and get rid of my quick zoomy button here. And we go to the robots handbook, which is the bigger one. This guy here. So, I would say, if you were to compare the two, with the robots and the field guide, you say you get a little bit more of a meatier tone with the robots. Now, robots also include a whole host of different things in this, where it's more constructing robots, so you can build your mechs and stuff like that. If Now, this is if you're that kind of game master that wants all this kind of detail and you go ahead and design stuff. I used to do a lot of that. I had one of my own kind of traveler striker games, which was a campaign a long, long time ago. And I drew pictures and everything, and like side views of all the vehicles and stuff like that, with the little, showing how big a human was compared to some of this stuff. Of course, this was back in the late '80s and '90s, before I got out of uh, GMing totally, and the guys loved it. They just ate up all the all, all the pictures that I drew, it was all on graph paper, right? So everything was kind of measured to to fit on those squares, and and it was cool. The guys were like right into it, and they loved it because it was just built on like a planet that was kind of, there was a war going on, and I decided that this was going to be the theme, and it was interesting. They played a couple of months in that, and I don't know. I kind of ended up ditching all my stuff afterwards and stopped kind of playing. So I was more involved with music and work. So that was more important to me back then. So running through this, it gives you like all the way from, kids' toys, basically, like super modernized kids' toys to pets kind of kind of idea. I don't know, and more companion kind of things. It gives you the worksheet here. A functional worksheet is also, well, like I said, available for download too. So you can use it to construct your robot or mecha or whatever android, and build it up. The imagery is okayish once again. Very reminiscent of typical traveler kind of stuff where once again, it's not going into that, ultra futuristic stuff, which I wish these guys would, like there's so much more than just this. uh, when you think about it, I don't know, I've been spoiled by the Monty Cook kind of, uh, ultra tech of Numenera, and I'm I just want to go ahead and put a lot of that into my game. So, but yeah, it gives you everything for building these things. If you really, really, really wanted to get into the minutia of building this stuff, which is cool. I mean, I used to do it a lot myself. Nowadays, I take ideas from this, write stuff down. I say, okay, I want this thing to have this, and I just write it down kind of in notes. It's great ideas. So it doesn't give you as many ideas as from the robots first edition, but it's still cool. But what I like about the first edition stuff was, once again, a lot of cool ideas that you can draw from. They were put on a lot of charts and stuff like that that you could roll to see, uh, to make a situation, which was cool. But a lot of times I would just go through it and pick the situation out, and I still do that. They just have so many clever, cool ideas that you can pick and choose from to make an interesting situation. Cryo births. There we go. So some a little bit more details on some of these, which is cool because it's not the original. The first basic book gives you some overview, but doesn't get into a lot of the aspects of all this kind of cool equipment that you have at your disposal. And this kind of gives you a little bit more information. Um, I like some of the robots in here have like, what is like an interface on them that you can interact with, which was, it had some interesting ideas there. I might use that on a robot or two. It does get into the androids and the also more of the where you can augment biological uh, beings or creatures and turn them into basically what would be called zombies. Uh, so their brains have been basically lobotomized, and they're following instructions from a chip that's been put into their brain basically, and yeah, they just yeah, I don't know, weird stuff. Stuff that you probably never thought about putting into your games, but hey, it's also in here, so it gives it brings out these ideas. Some extra, it brings out some of the weapons for anti robot kind of stuff, you know. So you got the EMP kind of weaponry that will definitely stop uh, these kinds of things. However, flowcharts, there we go. We got some of Shauner's favorite here, flowcharts. This gives you, I would say the flowchart is useful in you coming up with some ideas just by looking at it of what could possibly happen when somebody's trying to hack a robot. It's entirely up to you if you want to go ahead and use a flowchart. Um, But, uh, but like I say, it's useful in a role playing aspect to recall some of this stuff and do this little bit of Q&A in your head on, hey, what would be involved with actually hacking a robot. So, of course, this is for these robots. If you're using something that's totally numeric, they're gonna need like you know. Some alternate kind of programming instead. Because they may not be using um you know typical binary language. They might be going they might be having something totally different than what we started with in instructions in your programming. So some ideas of having, now this is meh, meh, I would say for um, pictures. But playing as a robot, I mean, yeah, I guess you could play as a robot. That's if in part of the theme of the whole thing. Once again, more flow charts. It gives you some cool ideas in here, some different robots that they have constructed, pre-constructed for you. So you can go through it and read through and get some ideas. Oh, okay, this is what my drone should include if I'm making a drone. Um, and vehicles, that sort of stuff, self-propelled vehicles, security robots. These are kind of interesting, more kind of like that Fallout kind of constructive aspects to them, with the hand manipulators and stuff like that. You would think, with Traveler, kind of like this forgotten thing about repulsor fields and stuff like that. I mean, throw those in there too as well, because you can manipulate things towards you or away from you, using a repulsor field, kind of like the way you do in Star Citizen, with the gun, with the manipulator gun. That's always fun. But yeah, wow. The Angel of Mercy, flying auto dock. Yeah, you could have one of these on Rampage. Like, I need to consume a human in order to fulfill my wants and needs of of repairing something. Yeah, I mean, you could have robots doing all kinds of awkward things, that they have been misprogrammed for. Like I say, the Nexus robots are also, well, or androids are in here as well. Including a lot of the stuff that you see in what is it called? The Pirates of Drinax, in that series as well. They'll have a few of those in here. But overall, some cool ideas that you get, and this is getting into realms of Kobayashi's stuff. So with this kind of bulbulous robotic kind of thing, which is cool. I like that. Um, and if you, I did a video on that stuff, the As Wars. You can watch that video way back when. But cool ideas. I don't know. I'm just going through this so you can see what you are possibly missing in your collection, and just take it at face value of what I have here showing you. Once again, a barter brought or whatever. Some of the Zodani designs, okay, cool. Interesting. Which is nice. You get to get a little bit more of a background of what maybe some of their equipment and stuff is. Let's get drones. Let's keep on going. Let's get into the other things in here. Nanobots. So we get into the nanobots. So as long as we got nanobots and then we go into the androids, we're good. We're good. So this gets into some weird stuff like the Elvis bot and stuff like that. So if you have a need of a entertainment double, or some of the things that you would find, like I said, in the Drinax book, I believe they have everything in here from those different characters. There we go. We got the zombie android, basically a biological robot. It had his brain replaced, and it's just following instructions now. Yeah, just there we go. We have once again the Black Sand Widow from the Pirates of Drinax, and the Tandy clone. Alrighty, so I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, useful books if you don't have the first Mongoose edition kind of stuff, but it's it works for me, to see how the different things have changed in the editions here. So, and yeah, roughly that's about it. So I don't know if you guys think that was interesting, cool. But once again, let's get back to the
Hey, since you made it this far to the video at the end, you may as well hit that subscribe button, because it's free. Honest, it's free. Just go ahead and hit it. I'm learning stuff. You are learning stuff. We all learn together. Subscribe. Just do it.